to the people, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. That president said to the people, and we are going to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade. And how did we do that? We didn't have a U.S. Department of Education in 1961. We didn't have a Department of Energy. We didn't have an EPA. We didn't have the bureaucracy that we have today. And yet we put a man on the moon, and we repeated that several times. That president, if he were here today saying what he said today, would be vilified as a conservative Republican, because that's what he would be. How far have we come in 50 years? When we've decided to sit back and let Washington take over health care and education. How far have we come in the wrong direction? When we have allowed bureaucracy to grow to an extent that we incur trillion-dollar deficits every year. We have a debt that we can barely afford to pay in the future, and we are going to cause this nation to collapse. My friends, the solution to saving America isn't just by electing good people to Washington. And you know, I tried to get to Washington in 2010. I ran for the United States Senate. It came awful close, with the help of a lot of people here. But we did the right thing. We got behind Kelly Ayotte right away, and I'm proud to call Kelly Ayotte my U.S. Senator. Are you proud of Kelly Ayotte? We sent her to Washington. We sent Frank Ginta. We've sent people, Charlie Bass, to go down to Washington to rein in the federal government, to balance our federal budget, to get control over Washington. But it isn't good enough to send people to Washington to get control over the federal government. We need leaders, strong leaders at the state level, to assert the 10th Amendment rights we have as states. That is, whatever power was not delegated to the federal government is reserved to the states, and more importantly, to the people. Yeah. We need strong governors like Chris Christie, Jan Brewer, Rick Scott, Scott Walker, and Ovide Lamontagne. Thank you. I enjoyed that. To stand up for the people and this state, for what is rightfully ours. If we don't do that, we are dooming our future generation. People as young as Bianca, right? We're dooming the young people, the children and grandchildren, if we don't get control of this government, if we don't work with other state leaders to make sure that we realign power, devolve power to Washington and demand it back from the state. Something else we do in New Hampshire that I bring for experience, and that is working with the charitable sector of our state. You know, unlike a lot of states, New Hampshire is not of the view that government workers and the SEA and all the forces that are at play needs to provide all the services to the people. We have a very effective delivery system because government partners with the charities of our state, whether it's CASA, the food bank. Think about this. The food bank provides the food available to serve 400 pantries that provide food to about 120,000 of our $1.2 million and 1.2 million people state. A private entity, the food bank, a program of New Hampshire Catholic Charities. I'm proud to work with them, and Donna Seitek is one of their board members. And if you look at the services provided through Catholic Charities and Lutheran Services, East to Seals, the Moore Center, area agencies like that, those services are better provided by volunteers and professionals in the private sector working in partnership in government than any government-run and control system ever would be. Why would we even want to think about changing that? We want to make it better, more efficient, but we want to work in partnership with the private sector. I'm a conservative Republican, and I'm here to tell you conservatives have a heart. Betty and I have been foster parents of a special needs young man for 23 years.